All right, the 2024 MLS Cup Final is here at long last, and my team's not in it. So that stinks. But hey, neither is Inter Miami. Let's go! What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. My name is Zach, but you can call me the Tennessee Fanatic or the TN Fanatic for short. On this channel, I post reactions to my favorite teams' matches, including my boys in gold, Nashville SC. But today, it is not about them. I'm not here to talk about that. Today, I'm here to talk about and predict this year's MLS Cup Final between the New York Red Bulls and the LA Galaxy. Now, before I give my prediction, I like to just give a brief analysis on how I think both of these clubs, the New York Red Bulls and the LA Galaxy, got here to the MLS Cup Final. And y'all, we have to start. I have to start with talking about these New York Red Bulls right here, because who saw this coming? I didn't. I certainly didn't. I will get into all that, but let's start with this. There is no doubt that the Red Bulls, they are a club with a good amount of success. Absolutely. 3-time Supporters' Shield winners. 3-time conference champions. 2010 World Disney Pro Soccer Classic champions. Yeah, don't tell me that I don't do research. Plus, if we're counting the added wildcard spots, the New York Red Bulls have made the playoffs every year since 2010. That's incredible. However, if we are talking about championship success, a trophy that has eluded the Red Bulls for the entire history of their franchise is MLS Cup. Now, if Sandro Suarez, the Red Bulls manager, if he wanted to change that narrative, break that glass ceiling, he and the Red Bulls management, they would need to make some big off-season transfers. Well, on December 26, 2023, they did just that. On that day, it was announced that the Red Bulls completed the transfer of Emil Forsberg from RB Leipzig. So Emil Forsberg, for those who don't know, he is a player with tons of experience. Great leadership and scoring ability. In his 324 appearances with RB Leipzig, Forsberg scored 71 goals and had 68 assists. So yeah, he's definitely a guy that can help your club win. And the Red Bulls, they did start off the season hot here, winning 4 of their first 7. Even after they lost to Miami 6-2 on Star Wars Day of all days, these Red Bulls did not get discouraged at all. They continued to rack up ace wins over some of the best clubs in the Eastern Conference. These include Charlotte FC or Orlando City. How fitting is that? And even an impressive 3-1 win over FC Cincinnati. Lewis Morgan, man, he just would not be stopped in that match. And it seemed like there was nothing stopping these New York Red Bulls until we get to Leagues Cup. Now again, I'm a fan of Nashville SC. I know better than most how that Leagues Cup tournament and a long run in that tournament, how that can really take a lot out of your players and hinder their performance for the rest of the regular season. But here's what's interesting, is that the Red Bulls, they didn't have a long run in this year's Leagues Cup. They were eliminated in the group stage. They lost to Toronto in penalties, and then it happened again against Pachuca. Oh, man. I still remember that moment when Deusa for Pachuca, he looked like he kicked a field goal in the 5th round. Oh, my gosh. Wrong kind of football, bro. But leave it up to Nealis to screw it all up for the Red Bulls. And again, New York was knocked out of the Leagues Cup right then and there. That match against Pachuca took place on September 30th. Their next match wasn't until August 24th, but perhaps it was that time away from the pitch that hurt this Red Bulls club because they suffered some ugly losses down the stretch. August 31st, they lost to the Union. They were shut out 2-0. September 14th, they lost to the Chicago Fire 2-1. And then 2 weeks after that, the Red Bulls suffered a demoralizing 5-1 loss against their in-state rivals, NYCFC. So entering October, the Red Bulls were hanging on by a thread. And even though they lost their final 2 regular season matches, they still had enough points to go to the postseason. Man, how nice is that, right? But who do they have to play in round 1? None other than the reigning MLS Cup champions and this year's League's Cup champions, the Columbus Crew. Now, Red Bulls fans, I'm sorry to burst your bubble here, but in my playoff prediction video, I did have the Crew sweeping you and advancing to the next round. I mean, the Crew, they beat the Red Bulls on decision day. I mean, how do you not pick the Crew to win right here? But going back to what I said at the very start, Emil Forsberg, when his name was called in these playoffs, he stepped up. Second playoff match against the Crew, 80th minute, Forsberg scored on the PK. Red Bulls go on to get the upset in penalties. Forsberg, he also had 2 shots against NYCFC in the next round. But hey, you know what? I can't give Forsberg all of the credit. At the end of the day, soccer, this is a team sport, absolutely. And so many players on this Red Bulls team had great postseasons. Lewis Morian, 12 shots total in the span of these playoffs. Dante Van Zier, 2 goals in 3 matches, including the game winner against NYCFC. But of course, y'all, like, we have to tip our hat. I don't have one, but like I will tip my hat to this Red Bulls backline and just the great job that they've done all season. Man, little 2 claps for them because, again, they have been amazing. Reyes, Tolkien, Stroud, Edelman, Harper, and obviously, you know, no championship run is complete without some elite play from your goalkeeper, Carlos Coronel. What a run that he had as well. After allowing those 3 goals against the Crew on decision day, Carlos was locked in from then on, man, and he did not look back. And to give you all just a taste on how elite Coronel and this Red Bulls backline, how elite they have been all postseason long. In their 4 playoff matches, the total amount of shots the Red Bulls allowed in the 2 matches with the Crew, and then the matches against NYCFC and Orlando, the total amount of shots all 3 of those teams took against the Red Bulls was 68. Only 2 of those shots got past Coronel. Yeah, it's crazy, right? So yeah, I think it's safe to say that the Red Bulls have earned their way to the MLS Cup. Coronel and the backline have been playing phenomenal. Morgan and Forsberg, they show no signs of slowing down. And again, the Red Bulls are here in the MLS Cup Final for the first time since 2008, hoping they have one more upset in them when they take on the LA Galaxy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume that a club that's won 5 MLS Cups, 4 Supporters Shields, 2 U.S. Open Cups, and a CONCACAF Championship have pretty high expectations set upon them. Well, look, to say that last year the Galaxy fell short of those expectations would be a massive understatement. Look, respectfully to the Galaxy fans out there, your campaign was pretty awful last year. Now again, I'm not really one to talk about bad seasons, but hey, facts don't lie. Last year, the LA Galaxy allowed 67 goals. They finished 13th in the Western Conference and missed the playoffs for the 5th time in 7 seasons. Even Mark Delgado, after that season ended, he was like, yeah, I'm glad it's over. So, you know, when Will Kuntz was hired as the new Galaxy GM, he certainly had his work cut out for him. However, give him and this club their flowers because, in my opinion, the LA Galaxy, what they've done this year, coming back from where they once were, that's one of the biggest turnarounds in sports history. Absolutely. So how did they do it? Well, to put it simply, they went out with the old and brought in the new. It's pretty well known that the Galaxy, they were known for bringing in big-time vets to help their club win. This year, they went a full 180, and they chose to invest in younger talents, such as Joseph Pensteele and Gabriel Peck. But not just those two young firecrackers. No, the Galaxy also brought in Mickey Yanman and John Nelson to help out on the backline. And also John McCarthy to hold it down in net. It definitely seemed like on paper that the Galaxy were ready to return to their former glory. And this year, they did just that. All season long, they were one of the top clubs in MLS, getting wins over Real Salt Lake, Seattle Sounders, again, fitting, and also beating their in-state rivals, LAFC. Everything was going right for the Galaxy. Everything was just perfect. They had a perfect opportunity. Everything was right in front of them to clinch the top seed in the Western Conference and a first-round bye. All that they had to do was beat the Houston Dynamo, and they lost. Dang. What's even worse is that on that same day, the team right behind them in the standings, LAFC, they beat the San Jose Quakes, which means that despite being the top team pretty much in the Western Conference all year long, the Galaxy do not get that first round bye, and they have to face the Rapids the following week in round 1. But man, they made short work of Colorado, outscoring them 9-1 over those two matches and advancing to the conference semis, where Minnesota was next. Now, the last time Minnesota played the Galaxy, a late goal by Peck cost Minnesota that win. And right off the bat, first minute, Peck went right back to doing what he does best, and that's scoring goals. After that first one by Peck, the Galaxy just poured it on Minnesota, beating them 6-2 and advancing to the conference finals, where they faced one of the best, if not the best, defensive clubs in all of MLS, the Seattle Sounders. Now, unlike those first two rounds, the Galaxy had the fight taken to them. Both clubs had 5 shots on target. The possession was slightly in LA's favor with 52%, and both clubs' passing accuracy was as crispy as KFC chicken, meaning that it was good. But finally, in the 85th minute, the Galaxy find pay dirt. Rolled in for Seattle, has a bad giveaway. Jovic has space going into the box, and sure enough, he scores on this chance, and the crowd goes absolutely bananas. This was the first time in 10 years that the Galaxy hosted a conference finals match. And with this win right here, with them beating the Seattle Sounders, the Galaxy, they have another opportunity to make history and win their first MLS Cup in 10 years. Folks, I love this right here because we have a classic underdog versus top dog matchup right here. It's Rocky versus Drago. It's Average Joe's versus Globo Jim. It's Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. It's the New York Red Bulls versus the LA Galaxy. Now, we've seen matchups like this in sports before, where you have the unlikely versus the expected. In some cases, the underdog defies all of the odds and finishes their story. Other times, the mighty champion gives the underdog and everyone else a reality check. So the question here is, who will win MLS Cup? Now, for the Galaxy coming into this final, the news broke that they will be without one of their best players, Riqui Puig. He tore his ACL. I'm wishing him all of the best in his recovery. Hopefully, it is a speedy one. But you know what? That means that the door is open for the Red Bulls to establish their attack and do it early. Look, I know that the Red Bulls they are a more defensive-oriented club. I'm not sure they would be too thrilled with letting Joveljic and Peck just shoot all over them. Also, I think the play from both clubs at the midfield is going to be something to watch. Again, with Puig out, either Cerrillo or Ress have to step up. And for New York, they have Emil Forsberg. Again, a player who is so good at directing the attack and finishing in the final third. He might have to do that if he wants his club to win. So, folks, I'm going to confess something before I make my official prediction. I've been doing this YouTube thing for almost 3 years now. And in that time, I've made some pretty bold sports predictions. Some I have gotten right. Others, I have not. It is what it is. But all of them have resulted in me getting just some form of backlash. Which, hey, I love that. I love the passion, from sports fans. And right here, we have two clubs with two passionate fan bases going at it. Plus, I can take the criticism. On my socials, I was very vocal in saying that I thought that Jake Paul was going to beat Mike Tyson. So yeah, I can take the criticism. So here's where I stand right now. My brain says one club. My heart says the other. So who do I go with? Okay. Here it is, fans. Today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to go with my heart today and say that the 2024 MLS Cup champions will be, drumroll please, the New York Red Bulls! Galaxy fans, go ahead, get your keyboards out. Here is your cue. Go ahead, start typing on how much of an idiot that I am. Again, I said Jake Paul was going to beat Mike Tyson. So yeah, I can take it. Do your worst. But for me, personally right here, the main reason why I'm picking the Red Bulls to win is that I'm going back to the classic mantra that defense wins championships. And yes, while the Galaxy did beat a great defensive team in the Seattle Sounders, let's look at that match for one moment. Again, it was pretty much even for the entire match. The only goal that the Galaxy scored in that match was off a Seattle turnover in the Sounders zone. And again, with Puig out, I just don't know if the Galaxy will bring as much pressure on the attack. I think if these Red Bulls, if they could just play a clean match at midfield and not turn over anything, I think that's going to open up a lot of doors for them. I think Benzier, he will find some space. Morgan will split the defense, and the Red Bulls will get their goals, and they will shock the world. If I had to give a final score for this match, look, the Red Bulls, they have to play almost a perfect match to beat this Galaxy club right here. So I can see the Red Bulls getting like a 2-0 shutout and clinching their first ever MLS Cup. But fans, that is going to do it for this prediction video. Thank you all so much for watching. I will also post my reaction to this Cup Final right here, so stay tuned for that. If you all enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, click that bell, and you can join our Fanatic Army. And a hearty salutes to all of you as always, and I hope that all of you have a fantastic day. Go Cody Rhodes!